Dr. Elena Vasquez stood in her lab on the moon. She looked at the papers spread across her metal table. The papers were marked with red stamps that said, "Secret and do not share." Elena picked up one paper and read it again, even though she knew every word by heart. The paper was a report from the Galactic Council. A council was made up of many alien races from across the galaxy. They had been watching Earth for 50 years. They had decided that humans were not very smart. The report said humans were Category C beings. This meant they were smart enough to fly in space, but not smart enough to matter. Elena laughed, but it was not a happy laugh. She had read what the aliens thought about human spaceships. They called them metal boxes with fire coming out the back. The aliens had ships that were alive, made from crystal, or powered by things humans could not understand. Human rockets seemed like toys to them, but the aliens had made one big mistake. They did not understand how humans worked. When someone told a human that something was impossible, humans did not give up. They got angry. They got stubborn. They worked harder. Elena walked to the window of her lab. Outside, she could see Earth hanging in the black sky like a blue and white ball. 3 years ago, everything had changed. An alien warship had blown up near Saturn. The pieces of the ship had floated through space until human ships found them. Alien ship was from a race called the Zephyrians. Their ships were made of crystal that could think. Inside the broken ship, human scientists found something amazing. It was a machine that could bend space and time using thoughts and feelings. Every alien race had tried to copy this machine. They all failed. The machine needed a mind that could feel strong emotions and still think clearly. No alien could do. This Elena remembered the day they brought the alien machine to her lab. It was a crystal cube the size of a refrigerator. It glowed with soft blue light. When she touched it, she could feel something inside. It was like the machine was sleeping and waiting for someone to wake it up. The other scientists said it was too dangerous. They said humans were too emotional to use alien technology safely. Elena disagreed. She thought human emotions might be exactly what the machine needed. She started working on the project in secret. She called it Project Impossible because everyone said could not be done. Elena studied how the machine worked. She did not try to understand it the way aliens did. Instead, she tried to figure out how to make it work with human minds. Other aliens were cold and logical. They tried to control their feelings to use the machine. But Elena had a different idea. What if humans used their feelings as fuel for the machine? What if anger, love, fear, and hope could power alien technology? Elena spent months testing her idea. She used small pieces of the crystal machine. She connected them to computers that could read human brain waves. She asked volunteers to think about things that made them feel strong emotions. The first test was with Dr. James Rodriguez. Elena asked him to think about his daughter while touching a small crystal piece. The crystal started to glow brighter. When James thought about someone hurting his daughter, the crystal became so bright it hurt to look at. The light was so strong, it burned a hole in the metal table. Elena knew she was onto something big. She worked with a team of 20 scientists. They all believed that humans could do what aliens said was impossible. They worked in secret because they knew the government would stop them if they found out too early. The team discovered that different emotions could power different things. Anger could move objects. Love could create shields. Fear could make things disappear and reappear somewhere else. Hope could make impossible things happen. Elena's team started building a real spaceship. Not a small test ship, but a warship bigger than anything humans had ever made. They called it the Terran Anomaly. Terra was another name for Earth. An anomaly meant something that should not exist. The ship was 3 kilometers long. That was longer than 30 football fields placed end to end. It looked like someone had taken parts from 100 different alien ships and welded them together with human. Stubbornness. Elena stood in the construction bay and watched workers build the impossible ship. The hull was made from human steel, mixed with alien crystal. The engines were human rocket technology, connected to alien space-bending machines. The weapons were human missiles guided by alien thought control systems. But the most important part was the crew connection system. Elena had designed it so that hundreds of humans could connect their minds to the ship at the same time. Each person would control a different part of the ship using their emotions. The weapons would be controlled by people who felt protective anger. The shields would be powered by people who refused to give up. The navigation would be guided by people who were curious about what was out there among the stars. Elena walked through the ship as it was being built. She touched the walls and felt the alien crystal humming inside the metal. The ship was not just a machine. It was becoming something alive, something that could think and feel along with its human crew. Other countries found out about the project. Some tried to stop it. Others wanted to steal it. But Elena's team had support from people who believed. Humans deserved a chance to prove themselves to the galaxy. The day finally came when the Terran anomaly was ready for its first test. Elena stood in the main control room with 847 other humans. Each person wore a helmet that connected their mind to the ship. Elena put on her helmet and felt the ship's consciousness touch her thoughts. The ship was curious. It wanted to know what it felt like to be human. Elena shared her memories with it. She showed the ship what it meant to love something so much you would die to protect it. She showed it what it felt like to be angry at bullies. She showed it the joy of discovering something new. The ship understood. It was no longer just a machine with human crew. It was a partnership between human hearts and alien technology. Elena gave the order to start the engines. The ship began to move. But it did not just fly through space like other ships. It bent space around itself, moving faster than light. Using the combined emotions of its crew. Deep in space, alien sensors detected something impossible. A human ship was flying using technology that should not work. The readings made no sense. The ship was powered by chaos, by emotions, by things that civilized races had spent millions of years learning to control. Admiral Castar of the Dominion Fleet received the report on her bioship. She read it 3 times before she believed. Humans had built a warship that violated the laws of physics. They had turned their greatest weakness into their greatest strength. Elena felt the ship's excitement as they flew between the stars. The Terran anomaly was happy to exist. It was proud to carry humans into the galaxy. It was ready to show everyone that impossible things were possible when humans decided to make them happen. But Elena also felt something else through her connection to the ship. Alien fleets were moving toward Earth. The Galactic Council had decided that humans were too dangerous to be allowed to keep their impossible ship. Elena smiled as she felt the ship's response to this threat. The Terran anomaly was not afraid. It had 847 human hearts beating inside it, and those hearts were full of love for their home world. If aliens wanted to threaten Earth, they would have to go through the ship that should not exist. Elena looked at the stars ahead and felt the ship's determination flowing through her mind. They had built something impossible, and now it was time to see what war became when humans decided peace was worth fighting for. Commander Sarah Chun stood on the bridge of the Terran anomaly. She wore the neural helmet that connected her mind to the ship. Through the connection, she could feel the ship's thoughts and emotions. The ship felt like a giant puppy that had just learned how to run. Sarah had been chosen to command the anomaly because she was good at staying calm when things went wrong. She would need that skill today. This was the ship's first real test flight with the full crew connected. The bridge was different from bridges on normal human ships. Instead of buttons and screens, there were 847 connection pods. Each pod held one crew member. Each person controlled a different part of the ship through their emotions and thoughts. Lieutenant Marcus Park sat in the engineering pod. He was connected to the ship's engines and power systems. When Marcus felt excited about how the engines worked, they ran smoother. When he felt proud of human engineering, the power output increased. Ensign Lisa Wong controlled the navigation systems. Her sense of wonder and curiosity guided the ship through space. When she felt amazed by the beauty of stars, the ship could find the safest path between them. Chief Gunner Tom Brady managed the weapons. His protective anger toward anyone who threatened Earth powered the ship's defense systems. The madder Tom got at bullies, the stronger the weapons became. Sarah felt all of these emotions flowing through the ship's neural network. It was like being part of a giant family where everyone shared their feelings. The ship took all these human emotions and turned them into power. But the early tests had not gone well. The first prototype ship had exploded when test pilot Rodriguez got angry at a broken coffee machine. His anger had been too much for the small ship to handle. The second prototype had accidentally teleported 3 light years away when engineer Park got excited about a letter from his daughter. The anomaly was different. It was big enough and smart enough to handle the emotions of hundreds of humans at once. Instead of being destroyed by human feelings, it grew stronger. Sarah gave the order for the first test. All stations, prepare for emotional resonance test. Remember, feel your emotions, but stay focused on your jobs. She felt the ship come alive around her. The crystal technology inside the walls began to glow. The engines hummed with power that came from human hearts instead of fuel. The ship lifted off from the moon base and flew toward the outer edge of the solar system. Emotions are stable, reported Dr. Elena Vasquez from the science station. The ship is converting our feelings into usable energy at 94% efficiency. Sarah smiled. Take us to Mars orbit, Ensign Wong. Let's see how fast we can go. Lisa Wong felt excited about visiting Mars. She had always wanted to see the red planet up close. Her excitement flowed into the ship's navigation system. The anomaly bent space around itself and appeared near Mars in just 3 seconds. Impossible, whispered Dr. Vasquez. We just traveled 50 million miles in 3 seconds. No human ship has ever moved that fast. But their celebration was cut short. The ship's sensors detected something approaching from deep space. It was big, and it was coming toward them fast. Commander, called out sensor operator Kim Lee, I'm detecting a large alien vessel approaching our position. It's huge. Sarah felt the ship's curiosity turn to concern. Through the neural link, she could sense her crew's emotions changing from excitement to worry. The ship's protective systems automatically came online. Put it on the main screen, Sarah ordered. The alien ship appeared on their display. It was a bioship from the Dominion fleet. The ship looked like a giant sea creature that swam through space instead of water. It was 5 times larger than the anomaly. Commander, we're receiving a transmission, reported Communications Officer Steve Parks. The alien voice was cold and mechanical. Unknown human vessel, you will submit to immediate inspection. Your ship's energy readings are in violation of galactic safety protocols. Prepare to be boarded. Sarah felt the ship's anger rising. The anomaly did not like being threatened. She could feel the emotions of her crew changing too. They had worked so hard to build this ship, and now aliens were trying to take it away. Send a reply, Sarah said calmly. We respectfully decline your inspection. This is a human vessel in human space. Have a nice day. Sarah also ordered the communications officer to play music along with the message. She chose Beethoven's Ninth. Symphony because it was beautiful and showed the best of human culture. On the alien ship, Admiral Kestar could not understand what was happening. In all her years of military service, no one had ever refused inspection while playing primitive music. Ships either submitted to authority or they fought. They did not send polite rejections with background music. "Admiral," reported her science. "Officer, the human ship's energy readings are impossible. It appears to be powered by biological neural activity on a massive scale." Admiral Kestar decided to end this quickly. She ordered her ship to fire a neural disruptor beam. This weapon was designed to safely knock out any biological crew without damaging their ship. The beam hit the Terran anomaly directly, but instead of knocking out the crew, something amazing happened. The ship's emotional resonance hull absorbed the attack and turned it into pure energy. The anomaly then sent this energy back as a gravitational pulse. The pulse hit the alien bioship like an invisible giant fist. The massive vessel tumbled through space, completely out of control. On the anomaly, Chief Engineer Marcus Park felt the ship's pain from the attack. His protective anger flowed through the neural network. The engineering section of the ship began to change. New armor plates grew from the walls. Additional weapon systems appeared from nowhere. Sarah watched in amazement as her ship evolved in real time. The alien attack had made the anomaly stronger, not weaker. "Commander," called out Chief Gunner Brady, "our weapon systems just doubled in power. I'm reading weapons I've never seen before." Dr. Vasquez checked her instruments. "The ship is adapting to the threat. It's using our emotional responses to create new defensive capabilities." Admiral Kestar got her ship back under control. She could not believe what she was seeing. The human vessel was not just defending itself. It was getting stronger with each attack. "Fire again," she ordered. Full power neural disruptor. This time the anomaly was ready. The ship absorbed the attack and converted it into shield energy. The shields became so strong they started to glow like a small star. But more than that, the ship was learning. It studied the aliens' neural disruptor technology and figured out how to copy it. Within seconds, the anomaly fired its own neural disruptor beam back at the alien ship. The alien crew had never felt human emotions before. When the human neural disruptor hit their ship, they experienced something completely new: fear. For the first time in their lives, the aliens were afraid. "Admiral." Kestar felt her bioship trying to retreat. The ship's natural instincts told it to run away from the emotional energy radiating from the human vessel. "What is happening?" she demanded. Her science officer's voice was shaking. "Admiral, the human ship is broadcasting emotional frequencies that our bioship interprets as a threat. Our ship wants to flee." Admiral Kestar had never encountered anything like this. She was one of the galaxy's best military commanders, but she had no training for fighting an enemy that became stronger when attacked. The Terran anomaly did not chase the retreating alien ship. Instead, Sarah felt the ship's curiosity. It wanted to understand these aliens, not destroy them. "Open a channel," Sarah ordered. "Admiral Kestar," Sarah said politely, "we don't want to fight you. We just want to be left alone. Our ship is designed to protect Earth and human space. If you don't threaten us, we won't threaten you." Admiral Kestar was confused. The human ship had just demonstrated impossible capabilities. But instead of attacking, the humans were offering peace. "Your vessel violates every known law of physics." Admiral Kestar replied. "How is it possible?" Sarah smiled. "We built it with human emotions and alien technology. We took feelings that your people think are weaknesses and turned them into our greatest strength." Through the neural link, Sarah felt her crew's pride in their achievement. The ship glowed brighter as it fed on their positive emotions. But Admiral Kestar was not convinced. "This cannot be allowed," I am sending a Code Omega alert to the Galactic Council. Your species will be contained. As the alien ship jumped away to hyperspace, Sarah felt the anomaly's sadness. The ship had hoped to make friends with the aliens. Instead, it had made enemies. "Commander," reported Ensign Wong, "I'm detecting multiple hyperspace signatures approaching the solar system. Looks like the Admiral called for backup." Sarah felt her crew's determination flowing through the neural network. They had built this ship to protect Earth, and that's exactly what they were going to do. "All hands, prepare for battle," Sarah announced. "It looks like we're about to show the galaxy what humans can do when we fight for our home." The Terran anomaly turned toward Earth, ready to defend humanity with the power of 847 human hearts beating as one. Admiral Kestar's bioship arrived at the Galactic Council's emergency meeting point. Ships from 12 different alien races floated in space around the massive council station. The Admiral had never seen so many different fleets gathered together so quickly. Inside the council chamber, representatives from across the galaxy watched the recording of her encounter with the human ship. They played the video 3 times. No one spoke. The silence was heavy and uncomfortable. Finally, High Counselor Zethmal of the Eternal Archive spoke. "This violates everything we know about how the universe works. The humans have weaponized chaos itself." Admiral Kestar stood before the council. "The human vessel became stronger every time we attacked it. Their emotions seemed to power technology that should be impossible." Counselor Vikinin from the Crystal Hierarchies leaned forward. "How many humans were aboard this vessel?" "Our sensors detected 847 biological signatures," Admiral Kestar replied. "All connected through some kind of neural network." The council members looked at each other with worry. No race in the galaxy had ever successfully created a ship powered by the minds of hundreds of crew members. The mental chaos should have destroyed any vessel attempting such a connection. "We must respond immediately," declared War Commander Thulak of the Vorthic Sovereignty. "If humans can build one such vessel, they can build more. This threat must be eliminated before it spreads." Within 6 hours, the largest fleet in galactic history was assembled. 18 capital ships from 12 different races moved toward the human solar system. At the head of the fleet was the Vorthic bio-titan called World Render. The ship was the size of a small moon and had been designed to destroy entire civilizations. Captain Velkorth commanded the World Render. He had personally overseen the destruction of 17 different species that the Council deemed incompatible with galactic order. As his massive ship led the fleet toward Earth, he felt confident this would be another routine elimination. Meanwhile, the Terran anomaly had returned to Earth orbit. Commander Sarah Chun stood on the bridge, feeling the ship's nervous energy through her neural connection. The ship knew something big was coming. "Commander," reported sensor operator Kim Lee, "I'm detecting massive hyperspace disturbances at the edge of the solar system. Multiple large ships are about to arrive." Sarah felt her crew's emotions change from nervousness to determination. Through the neural network, she could sense 847 human hearts preparing for the fight of their lives. "All hands to battle stations," Sarah announced. "This is what we built the anomaly for. Time to show the galaxy what humans can do." The alien fleet emerged from hyperspace near Neptune. The World Render alone was larger than Earth's moon. The other ships spread out in a perfect formation that had been used successfully for millions of years. Captain Velkorth transmitted the standard ultimatum on all frequencies. "Primitive humans, you have created technology that violates galactic law. You will surrender your vessel immediately and submit to civilizational adjustment or face the consequences." Commander Chun felt the ship's anger rising. The anomaly did not like being called primitive. She could feel the same anger from her crew. They had worked so hard to build something amazing, and these aliens were calling them Primitive. Sarah activated the communication system. Her voice was calm, but firm. "Captain Velkorth, we built our ship to protect our home. If you want to hurt Earth, you'll have to go through us first." On the world render, Captain Velkorth could not believe what he was hearing. A single small ship was threatening to fight the entire galactic fleet. It was impossible and insulting. "You have 1 minute to surrender," Captain Velkorth replied. "After that, we will demonstrate why 17 civilizations chose destruction rather than face our full power." Sarah felt the anomaly's response to this threat. The ship was not afraid. It was excited. Through the neural network, she could feel her crew's protective love for Earth flowing into the ship's systems. "All stations report ready," called out various crew members across the bridge. Chief Gunner Brady's emotions were focused like a laser beam. His protective rage powered the weapon systems until they glowed white-hot. "Weapons ready, Commander. Let's show them what happens when you threaten our home." Engineer Park's pride in human achievement flowed into the engines. The ship's power output doubled, then tripled. "Engines at maximum, Commander. We're ready for anything." Navigator Wong's sense of wonder guided the ship's movement systems. Her curiosity about the alien ships helped the anomaly understand their weaknesses. "Navigation ready. I can see how to outmaneuver them." Dr. Vasquez monitored the emotional flow throughout the ship. All neural connections stable. The ship is feeding on our protective emotions and converting them to combat power. When the minute was up, Captain Velkorth gave the order to attack. The alien fleet opened fire with enough weapons to destroy a planet, but something impossible happened. The Terran anomaly did not try to dodge the attacks. Instead, it absorbed them. Every energy beam, every missile, every exotic weapon that hit the ship was converted into power for its own systems. Sarah felt the ship's joy as it grew stronger with each attack. The more the aliens shot at it, the more powerful it became. "Return. Fire," Sarah ordered. The anomaly fired back with weapons that seemed to appear from nowhere. But these were not normal weapons. They were powered by human emotions and guided by human thoughts. The first shot was powered by Chief Gunner Brady's protective anger. It hit an alien cruiser and did not just destroy it. The emotional energy inside the weapon made the alien crew feel human emotions for the first time. They experienced love, hope, and joy all at once. The alien crew stopped fighting because they could not understand why they had wanted to hurt humans in the first place. The second shot was powered by Engineer Park's love for his family. When it hit another alien ship, the crew suddenly understood what it meant to have something worth protecting. They turned their ship around and flew away from the battle. Captain Velkorth watched his fleet fall apart. Ships were not being destroyed. They were being converted. The human emotional weapons were making his crews feel things that galactic civilization had spent millions of years trying to eliminate. "All ships, focus fire on the human vessel," he ordered desperately, but focusing. More attacks on the anomaly only made it stronger. The ship was now glowing like a star as it absorbed the combined firepower of the entire alien fleet. Sarah felt something new through the neural connection. The ship was no longer just defending itself. It was starting to understand the aliens. Through the emotional connections created by its weapons, the anomaly could feel what the alien crews were thinking and feeling. "Commander," reported Dr. Vasquez with amazement in her voice, "the ship is creating neural links with the alien crews. It's teaching them how to feel emotions." The World Render fired its planet-killing weapon directly at the anomaly. The beam was powerful enough to crack a moon in half. But when it hit the human ship, something beautiful happened. The anomaly absorbed the destructive energy and converted it into something else. Instead of a weapon, it became a wave of pure human emotion. that spread across the entire alien fleet. For the first time in millions of years, the aliens felt wonder. They felt joy. They felt the desire to create instead of destroy. They felt love for life and hope for the future. Captain Velkorth felt his bioship responding to these new emotions. The world render had been designed for destruction, but now it wanted to protect and nurture life. The massive ship began to change, growing flower-like structures instead of weapons. "What is happening to us?" Captain Velkorth asked, but his voice was full of wonder instead of anger. Sarah opened a communication channel to the entire alien fleet. "You're learning what it means to be human," she said gently. "You're feeling emotions that make life worth living." All across the alien fleet, crews were experiencing human emotions for the first time. Some ships began to retreat, not from fear, but from a desire to go home and share these new feelings with their families. Other ships moved closer to the anomaly, curious to learn more about these strange humans. The battle was over, but not because one side had won. It was over because the aliens no longer wanted to fight. They wanted to understand these humans, who had turned destruction into creation, hatred into love. Captain Velkorth spoke again, his voice completely changed. "Commander Chun, we came here to destroy you, because we feared what you represented. But now, now, we want to learn from you." Sarah felt the anomaly's happiness flowing through the neural network. The ship had not just defended Earth. It had made friends with beings from across the galaxy. "You're welcome to visit Earth," Sarah replied. "But you come as friends, not conquerors." As the alien fleet prepared to enter Earth's solar system peacefully, Sarah felt her crew's pride and joy flowing through the ship. They had built something that should not exist, and it had changed the galaxy forever. The Terran anomaly had proven that human emotions were not weaknesses to be controlled, but strengths to be shared. And now the galaxy was about to learn what that meant. The emergency session of the Galactic Council was unlike anything in their recorded history. 47 different alien races gathered in the massive council chamber, their representatives floating in specialized atmosphere bubbles suited to their biology. High Counselor Zethmal of the Eternal Archive called the session to order. On the giant display screen, footage from Captain Velkorth's encounter with the human ship played for the third time. The assembled aliens watched in stunned silence as their mighty fleet was converted from conquerors to friends by human emotional weapons. "This changes everything," whispered Counselor Reka from the Quantum Collective. "For 12 million years, we have maintained galactic peace by eliminating emotional chaos from our societies. Now humans have weaponized the very thing we fear most." War Commander Thalak of the Vorthic Sovereignty stood up angrily. "The humans have contaminated an entire fleet with their emotional instability. Captain Velkorth's crew is no longer fit for military service. They speak of wonder and joy instead of following orders." High Counselor Zethmal reviewed the reports coming in from the contaminated fleet. 17 ships have requested permission to establish permanent research stations near Earth. Their crews want to study human emotions. This is unprecedented. The council chamber erupted in worried chatter. Representatives from different races argued about what should be done. Some wanted to quarantine the entire human solar system. Others suggested immediate sterilization before the emotional contamination could spread. Defense Coordinator Mektar from the Silicon Hierarchies accessed the tactical database. "We have lost contact with 3 more fleets that were sent to monitor the situation. Long-range sensors show their ships orbiting peacefully around the human world. They are no longer responding to military commands." "How many ships have been compromised?" asked Counselor Nyloth from the Psionic Assembly. "Currently, 38 capital ships and their entire crews," Defense Coordinator Mektar replied grimly. "The contamination rate is accelerating." High Counselor Zethmal made a decision that would change galactic history. We must implement. Protocol 7. Total System Sterilization. Protocol 7 had never been used before. It involved gathering every available warship in the galaxy into one massive fleet and destroying an entire star system. The protocol was designed for threats so dangerous that they could not be allowed to exist. Within days, the largest military force in galactic history began to assemble. Over 200 capital ships from 30 different races converged on a staging area outside the human solar system. The fleet included biotitans from the Vorthic, crystal dreadnoughts from the Silicon hierarchies, and psionic destroyers from the mental collectives. At the center of this massive fleet was the Eternal Judgment, flagship of the Galactic Council's own military force. The ship was 5 kilometers long and carried weapons designed by combining the technology of every major galactic civilization. Admiral Sekmoth commanded the Council fleet from the bridge of the Eternal Judgment. She had been chosen because her race, the Null Spirits, felt no emotions at all. The Council hoped this would make her immune to human emotional weapons. All fleet commanders report status. Admiral Sekmoth ordered. Vorthic biotitans ready for sterilization protocol, reported War Commander Dolinek. Silicon crystal ships charged and prepared, confirmed Fleet Captain Zertal. Psionic destroyers standing by, announced Mind Admiral Kurseeth. One by one, 30 different fleet commanders reported their readiness. The assembled force had enough firepower to destroy 100 worlds. On Earth, the governments of the world held emergency meetings. Satellites detected the massive alien fleet gathering at the edge of the solar system. The alien ships were not hiding their presence. They wanted humans to know what was coming. Commander Sarah Chun stood on the bridge of the Terran anomaly as it orbited Earth. Through her neural connection to the ship, she could feel the worry and fear of her crew. But underneath those emotions was something stronger: determination. Commander, reported Dr. Elena Vasquez from the science station, I'm reading over 200 alien capital ships gathering beyond Neptune. Their combined firepower could turn Earth into space dust. Sarah felt the ship's response to this threat. The anomaly was not afraid. Instead, it was curious about all those different alien technologies gathered in one place. How long until they attack? Sarah asked. Admiral Sekmoth has transmitted an ultimatum, reported Communications Officer Parks. We have 24 hours to surrender the anomaly and submit to what they call civilizational adjustment. Otherwise, they will sterilize the entire solar system. Sarah felt her crew's anger through the neural network. The aliens were threatening to destroy Earth, the Moon, Mars, and every human in space. They wanted to kill billions of people because they were afraid of human emotions. Send a reply. Sarah ordered. Tell them that the Terran anomaly stands ready to defend Earth and every human life in this system. But Sarah also felt something else through her connection to the ship. The anomaly had an idea. During the previous encounters with alien fleets, the ship had learned something important. It could create neural connections with alien crews and share human emotions with them. Dr. Vasquez, Sarah said, what would happen if we could create emotional connections with the entire enemy fleet at once? Dr. Vasquez checked her instruments. Theoretically, the ship could broadcast emotional frequencies on a massive scale. But Commander, we're talking about 200 ships with crews totaling over 50,000 aliens. The power requirements would be enormous. Sarah felt the ship's confidence through the neural link. The anomaly believed it could do something that had never been tried before. It wanted to connect with every alien in the attacking fleet and share the full experience of being human. What does the ship need? Sarah asked. More emotional input, Dr. Vasquez replied. The ship draws power from human feelings. For something this big, It would need to connect with more humans than just our crew. Sarah made a decision that would change everything. Open a channel to Earth. All frequencies. Channel open, Commander? Sarah spoke to her home world. People of Earth, this is Commander Sarah Chun, aboard the Terran Anomaly. A massive alien fleet is preparing to attack our world. They want to destroy us because they're afraid of human emotions. But our ship has the power to show them that human feelings are not something to fear. They are something beautiful. Sarah paused, feeling the ship's excitement through the neural connection. We need your help, she continued. Our ship can create connections with the alien fleet, but only if we have enough emotional power. We need every human on Earth, on the Moon, on Mars, and in space to think about what makes life worth living. Think about the people you love. Think about the beauty of a sunset, the joy of laughter, the satisfaction of creating something with your own hands. Think about hope for the future and determination to protect what matters most. Our ship will take all of these feelings and share them with aliens who have never experienced such emotions. We're going to show them what it means to be human. Within minutes, Sarah felt the response. Through the ship's neural network, she could sense millions of human minds connecting to the anomaly. Every person on Earth who heard her message was sharing their emotions with the ship. The Terran Anomaly began to glow like a star as it absorbed the combined emotional energy of humanity itself. Admiral Sekmoth watched from her flagship as the human ship's energy output increased beyond all measurement. What are they doing? She asked her science officer. Admiral, the human vessel appears to be drawing power from the entire human population. Every human in their solar system is somehow connected to their ship. Admiral Sekmoth felt something she had never experienced before: uncertainty. Her race felt no emotions, but even she could sense that something unprecedented was about to happen. All ships, prepare to attack, she ordered. We end this now. But the Terran Anomaly was ready. As the massive alien fleet moved to attack Earth, the ship began to broadcast the combined emotions of 6 billion humans across space. The aliens were about to learn what love, hope, joy, and determination felt like when shared by an entire species working together to protect their home. The moment Admiral Sekmoth gave the order to attack, the largest military fleet in galactic history opened fire on the human solar system. Over 200 capital ships unleashed enough destructive power to shatter planets and boil away entire atmospheres. Something impossible happened when their weapons reached the Terran Anomaly. The ship did not try to dodge or defend itself. Instead, it absorbed every attack and converted the destructive energy into something the galaxy had never seen before: pure human emotion on a massive scale. Commander Sarah Chun felt the combined feelings of 6 billion humans flowing through her ship. Every person on Earth was connected to the anomaly, sharing their love, hope, fear, and determination. The ship took all of these emotions and broadcast them across space as waves of pure feeling. The emotional wave hit the alien fleet like an invisible tsunami. Admiral Sekmoth was the first to be affected. Her race, the Null Spirits, had evolved to feel no emotions at all. But when the human emotional wave reached her ship, something amazing happened. For the first time in her life, Admiral Sekmoth felt wonder. She looked around her bridge and suddenly understood that the cold metal and blinking lights were beautiful. She felt curiosity about her crew members as individuals instead of just tools for war. Most importantly, she felt something she had never imagined: love for life itself. Admiral called her science officer, but his voice was different now. Instead of the flat, emotionless tone of their race, there was warmth and excitement in his words. I'm detecting something wonderful. The human emotional broadcast is teaching us how to feel. All across the massive alien fleet, crews were experiencing human emotions for the first time. On the Vorthic Biotitans, warriors who had spent their lives learning to kill suddenly felt protective love for their enemies. They could not understand why they had wanted to hurt the humans. On the silicon crystal ships, beings of pure logic felt the joy of creativity and the satisfaction of building something beautiful instead of destroying it. Their crystal hulls began to change, growing artistic patterns instead of weapon arrays. The psionic destroyers, designed to attack with mental force, found their crews overwhelmed by human empathy. They could suddenly feel what their targets were feeling, and the idea of causing pain became impossible to bear. But the most dramatic change happened on the Council's own flagship, the Eternal Judgment. Admiral Sekhmoth felt the full emotional experience of humanity flowing through her mind. She experienced a mother's love for her child, a father's pride in his daughter's achievements, the joy of friends laughing together, and the determination of people working together to build a better future. All ships cease fire immediately. Admiral Sekhmoth ordered, but her voice was filled with wonder instead of authority. The massive fleet stopped attacking. Ship after ship reported the same thing. Their crews could no longer bring themselves to harm the humans. The emotional connections had shown them what they would be destroying. On the Terran anomaly, Sarah felt her ship's joy through the neural connection. The plan had worked better than anyone had imagined. The alien fleet was not just refusing to fight. They wanted to understand and protect humanity. "Commander," reported Dr. Vasquez with amazement, "the entire alien fleet is requesting permission to approach Earth peacefully. They want to learn more about human emotions." Sarah opened a communication channel to Admiral Sekhmoth. "Admiral, do you understand now why we fought to protect our home?" Admiral Sekhmoth's voice was soft and filled with new understanding. "Commander Chun, we came here to destroy what we thought was a threat to galactic order. But you have shown, that we were wrong. Human emotions are not chaos to be feared. They are the most beautiful thing in the universe." Over the following weeks, the alien fleet that had come to destroy Earth became Earth's protectors and students. Ship after ship requested permission to establish research stations in the solar system. Alien crews wanted to learn how to feel emotions and how to live with feelings instead of just cold logic. The Galactic Council tried to recall their fleets, but the ships refused to return. The crews sent messages saying they had found something more important than military duty. They had found the meaning of life itself. Captain Velkorth of the Worldrender became the first alien ambassador to Earth. His massive bioship, once designed for destruction, transformed into a living garden that orbited between Earth and Mars. Velkorth spent his days learning about human art, music, and literature. "Commander Chun," Velkorth said during one of their regular conversations, "my ship was created to end civilizations, but now it wants to help civilizations grow and flourish. How do you humans live with such powerful feelings?" Sarah smiled as she felt the anomaly's contentment through their neural connection. "We don't try to control our emotions, Captain. We learn to work with them. They make us stronger, not weaker." The transformation spread beyond the fleets around Earth. Alien crews that had been emotionally awakened by the anomaly returned to their home worlds and shared their experiences. Across the galaxy, rigid civilizations began to change as they learned about human emotions. The Vorthic sovereignty, once a warrior empire, began using their bioships to explore and protect instead of conquer. The silicon hierarchies discovered that their crystal technology could create beautiful art when guided by feelings instead of just logic. The psionic collectives learned to use their mental powers to heal minds instead of attacking them. 6 months after the great battle that never happened, the Terran anomaly traveled between different worlds as a peacekeeper and teacher. The ship had evolved far beyond its original design. Contact with so many different alien minds had taught it new abilities. When the Zephyrian colonies were threatened by space pirates, the anomaly used human hope to create shield frequencies that could protect entire planets. When Kellic children were lost in a quantum storm, human empathy became a navigation system that could find anyone. Anywhere in the galaxy. Commander Sarah Chun walked through the corridors of her impossible ship, watching her crew work alongside volunteers from 17 different alien races. They were all learning to use emotions that their cultures had spent millions of years trying to suppress. The ship's neural network now connected humans with aliens, creating the first truly multi-species emotional community in galactic history. Through these connections, species that had never understood each other were learning to work together. Commander, called Communications Officer Parks, we're receiving a priority message from Earth. The message was from Admiral Marcus Torres, who had taken command of Earth's defense forces. His face appeared on the main screen, and Sarah could see excitement in his eyes. Sarah, we've received formal requests from the Spiral Alliance for help with their border conflicts. But they're not asking for military intervention. They want human-style emotional mediation. It seems word is spread about what the anomaly can do. Sarah felt the ship's anticipation through the neural connection. The anomaly was excited to explore new emotions and new ways to turn impossible problems into possible solutions. Set course for the Alliance borders, Admiral, Sarah replied. Let's go show them what war becomes when humans decide peace is worth fighting for. The Terran anomaly folded space around itself, driven by hundreds of human and alien hearts working together. The ship that had been built to defend Earth had become something greater, proof that the galaxy's most feared weakness could become its greatest strength. As they traveled toward their next mission, Sarah felt the combined emotions of her multi-species crew flowing through the ship's neural network. There was excitement about meeting new alien races, curiosity about different forms of emotion, and determination to help others find peaceful solutions to their conflicts. But most of all, there was hope. Hope that the galaxy could become a place where different species worked together instead of fighting each other. Hope that emotions were not something to be feared or controlled, but something to be shared and celebrated. That the Terran anomaly had started as a human warship that violated the laws of physics. It had become something that violated the laws of war itself, turning conflict into cooperation and enemies into friends. Behind them, Earth shone blue and beautiful in the darkness of space, protected by the impossible ship that proved humans could build anything if they decided it was worth building. The ship that shouldn't exist had become proof that sometimes the best way to solve an impossible problem was to ignore the impossibility and solve it anyway. And in the deep space between galaxies, other ancient civilizations detected strange new quantum signatures, evidence that somewhere among the stars, humans were still building impossible things and using them to make the universe a better place, one impossible solution at a time.